Right now, your brain is being hijacked. You probably don't have a problem playing video games or browsing social media for 2 hours or even longer without breaking your concentration. But what about half an hour of studying or working on your side business? That feels like an impossible task. You logically know that exercising or building a business will bring you more benefits in the long run, yet you still prefer the instant hit of a screen. You might think it's just because one is easy and the other is hard, but the truth is much more sinister. It's about a chemical called dopamine. If you don't understand how this molecule works, you will remain a slave to your impulses forever. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact protocol I use to trick my brain into loving the grind. To understand the power of dopamine, we have to look at the dark history of neuroscience. Researchers implanted electrodes in the brains of rats. Whenever the rat pulled a lever, its reward system was stimulated. The result was a craving so strong the rats kept pulling the lever for hours, refusing to eat or even sleep, until they dropped from exhaustion. But then, the researchers reversed the process. They blocked the release of dopamine. The rats became so lethargic that even getting up for a drink of water wasn't worth the effort. They wouldn't eat, they wouldn't mate, they essentially lost the will to live. However, if food was placed directly in their mouths, they still enjoyed it. They just lacked the motivation to get it themselves. This proves that dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about the desire that drives action. Your brain develops priorities based on how much dopamine it expects to get. If an activity releases too little, you won't have the motivation to do it. In today's digital society, we are flooding our brains with unnaturally high amounts of dopamine daily. Social media. Every scroll is a gamble for a new reward. Video games. Constant achievement loops. Junk food. Anticipation of a sugar high. We've become like those rats pulling the lever over and over, trying to get a new hit. The problem is that your brain doesn't care if the activity is damaging to you. It just wants more. This is why drug addicts continue their habits even when they know it's destroying their lives. The dopamine release is so high it overrides logic. Homeostasis. Why hard things feel impossible. Your body has a biological system called homeostasis. It likes to keep everything balanced, just like your body sweats to cool down when it's hot. Your brain down-regulates your dopamine receptors when they are overloaded. When you constantly hunt for high dopamine hits, your brain lowers its sensitivity to maintain balance. You develop a tolerance. This is why a drug addict needs more of the substance to get high, and it's why you need more stimulation just to feel normal. The tragic side effect? Things that release lower amounts of dopamine, like reading, working, or studying, don't interest you anymore. They feel boring and painful because they can't compete with the unnatural highs you've grown used to. The 24-hour Detox Protocol. To fix this, you need a dopamine detox. You must set aside a day to avoid all highly stimulating activities and let your receptors recover. For 24 hours, you are banned from internet, phone, or computer usage, music, junk food, and masturbation. You must embrace boredom. You are only allowed to walk, meditate, reflect on your goals, and write ideas on a physical piece of paper. Why does this work? If you eat at the best restaurant every day, plain rice tastes bad. But if you are starving on a deserted island, that rice becomes a luxury. By starving your brain of pleasure, you make boring activities desirable again. The reward system for long-term success. You can also use a mini detox 1 day a week, avoiding just one specific high dopamine behavior. But the ultimate trick is to use high dopamine activities as a reward for hard work. I track my low dopamine work, cleaning, reading, and creating videos. Only after I finish these do I allow myself a hit of high dopamine behavior at the end of the day. For every 8 hours of work, I allow 2 hours of guilty pleasure. We are all dopamine addicts, but you get to choose where you get it from. Things that hold you back or your long-term goals? The choice is yours. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button. Go do something hard. I'll see you in the next one.